A viewer and subscriber of the channel sent me an email, thanks Daniel, months ago with this picture. It was a concept picture by Ian McHugh. I said I'd have a go at making something like this, but adding my take on things. It has the aesthetics of being a sand crawler, so I'm going to use this part, which is the main part from a tank. So you know what that means. Let's start scratching that build. So this build is going to need a lot of tank parts. Luckily I've two of the same model kits that I'll start harvesting parts from. Viewers have asked how much these kits cost me. I usually only buy kits when they're on offer, so like €20 or less, and I'll buy tank kits mainly as they have the best greeblies. To start the build I start opening packets and getting the best greeblies. I'm going to start from the ground up, so that means using wheels, and I'll start gluing these wheels together. Once I have enough wheels, I break out some plasticard to stick them onto. I draw a line around the wheels to make the basic shape of how I want the wheels to look. As you saw with the wheel configuration, I'm going to go for a triangle look. I dry fit the wheels into place, then make small alterations and round everything off using the other half's nail file. And it wouldn't be a build if I didn't include something borrowed from the better half. And now that it looks like a guitar pick, I'll glue the wheels onto it. Luckily the tanks I bought have flexible tank tracks, so it'll be easy for me to put them onto the wheels. I measure what length I need and use hot glue to get them to stick. Time for a little nip and tuck on the main body of the sand crawler. More plasticard is needed to start shaping the body. This piece is going to be too long, so I just make adjustments. And use more plasticard to cover my sins, or basically the gaps. It was that time where I worked out where the wheels would go and trimmed off any bits that were in the way. Before I put the wheels on, I'm going to start on the main build of the vehicle, and that means more plasticard. Using my 321 blocks, I build a tower that sits on the back of the build. While I do that, it's subscriber shout out time. It's my way of saying thank you to all my awesome subscribers who leave comments, tips, or just generally say hello. As they know, I reply to all comments, so why not leave one? I also have a channel membership for a couple of euros a month. You get to see future builds weeks before anyone else, also awesome badges next to your name, and your own members shout out on screen. Having built the tower, I worked out how it would sit before gluing it down. I used a 321 block to keep things steady and wondered to myself how I'd built other things without these. They're a great piece of kit to have. I went back to my sprues and started collecting other greeblies to begin bulking out the vehicle. As you can see, I elevated the back of the wheels with plasticard, so I had a bigger surface for the glue to stick to. With the wheels on, it was back to the tower. I dug out some plasterer's tape so I could make a couple of grid windows that will be stuck to the tower. Made a framework to cover the edges with thin strips of plasticard. I added some bullet holes into some of the plasticard because I'd noticed in the picture that some of the panels had indents. There's no need to call for an ambulance. I'm being extremely cautious while I make grooves in the plasticard. Now, fun fact, I probably get more burns from the hot glue gun than cutting my fingers. What I'm trying to do is give the vehicle and tower a worn, lived-in look, like it's seen a lot of action while patrolling the desert. And this is extremely easy to do because the plasticard is soft and you can just cut away and make grooves and everything like that. I cover the back end with a mixture of plasticard and greeblies, and then just start applying more greeblies from the model kits. And with me doing that, it's probably where it deviates most from the picture. These mudguards are from the main body of one of the model tanks. I carefully cut it down so I could use these to cover the tops of the wheels. Once those were done, I then started bulking out the front of the vehicle. I was going to throw away that piece that I'm sticking on now, but then realised it was a perfect width and size for the front. That's the tank's main body I've been taking parts from. It has some great detailing that I could use. It's fun to think that what I'm building has no instructions or structure, as in, I didn't pre-plan anything. I just adapt the plastic model kit to what I need. More little panels just to cover up various gaps. That's the tank turret I've trimmed slightly to go into the hole. It should fit. That's what she said. For the interior of the crawler, I'm going to use coffee stirring sticks. I trim both sides, then slightly score one side to give the wood some texture. If you're gentle with the blade and you don't cut all the way through the wood, that's the sort of effect that you'll get. I'll use some runny CA glue to stick the sticks down, and use the hobby knife just to push the wood into place. While I do that, it's code word time. If you're leaving a comment, put this code word in the comment so I know you watched all the video up to here before skipping to the glam shots. And the code word is Pew Pew Barney McGrew. And I do believe only my English viewers will get that reference. So the last of the flooring is going down. I had some leftover wood, so I'm just going to finish that off by adding it to the other little bits of flooring. I'm going to add some people to this build, so using Wargames Atlantic Deathfields kit, I'll rustle up some figures and maybe some weapons if I've any left, because I've already harvested from this kit already. Doing figures is something I'm trying to get better at, so my apologies in advance if they don't turn out as good as what they should. I made one seated figure that was sat behind a, I don't know, laser cannon or something. With a little nip and tuck, the figure actually fitted very well on top of the tower. I used the weapons from the model kit just to add more detail. The guns weren't part of the picture, but I just thought I needed to add some sort of weaponry. And since I was virtually all in, I decided to add another big gun right at the centre of the tower. I added a few more details because it was next onto this spinny spin wheel to go outside to get a prime of black. I'm slightly deviating from the colour in the picture, so I'm going to start with I think it's called Iraq sand. I'll just hit the entire model with this, and you can see that I'm just sort of being kind of lazy with my painting because I'm a lazy painter, and leaving enough of the black underneath colour just to come through. Technically you could say that I'm pre-weathering with the paint that I'm using. Once the paint was down, it was on to some transfers that I'm still not very good at, so please do not copy me. I'm making sure that this time I get the transfers down before I go over the model again with another weathering pass. I let the transfers dry for a few hours and then went back over it with a little mixture of Iraq sand dabbed with a little bit of black just to give it the variation of the colour that I needed. making sure that the weathering covers some of the transfers to give it a more lived-in look. Usually I would paint with a brush the tank tracks, but I just thought, you know, I've got the airbrush out, I'll just paint everything with the airbrush. And pretty much that's it for the paint job. I'm not going to go overboard and do a lot of other stuff other than probably do a little bit of metal on the guns, and then it'll be on to the glamour shots. I changed my mind with adding silver onto the guns and used a steampunk colour instead. And that's it. This is my version of the Sandcrawler from the picture that we saw at the start. Yeah, it turned out okay. I'm for once happy with how the paint came out, and I'm just going to hit it now with a few little dabs of panel liner, and it's on to the glam shots. So thank you for your time. Next are the glamour shots. Keep scratching that build.